Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efeni, the great Malabite action.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rufai.
Good morning, sir.
Rufai, what's Achaboke? You said you're Achaboke for Netanyahu. Anyway, the Uru and go to Jeremy influence. That's Robo language for they are clapping for Netanyahu.
Oh, that's true. I mean, I didn't even know where that popped out. I didn't even know where that popped out about. You said you're doing that for Netanyahu.
Well, we start the review with these days.
This is an English language.
That's why
It's an English language station.
No, but that's what he said.
So, Section 51 of the 1999 Constitution recognizes some languages. So all these provincial tongues that you are speaking. No. You are violating the Constitution of Nigeria. I refer you to Section 51.
I will never deny my heritage that I had the sweet pleasure of growing up in DSC estate in Oruwo.
No, don't worry. Yoruba is recognized under Section 51.
So please.
But this one that Efeni is speaking, it's not recognized.
Right, thank you very much for bringing that very sonorous language to international attention. We start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. We start with a story above the masthead. Power theft, destruction of electricity facilities now carry 3 years imprisonment. NEC lists timelines for fixing customers' complaints. Power tariff hike absorbed, say electricity workers. Well, the new Electricity Act 2023 prescribes more punishment for persons who tamper with their meters, those who are involved in electricity theft and destruction of power facilities. The new Electricity Act 2024 replaces the Electricity Reform Act of 2005. So those who are in the habit of stealing power, when they are caught, they should know what they are in for. They will not only pay 3 times of the calculation of what they have stolen or destroyed, they will also have 3 years, 3 years imprisonment. And I'm sure some of these judges will not give them an option of fine if you are trying to destroy our infrastructure that serves everybody. Now, the other story, the lead story, let's look at the lead story. Israel, by launching 300 ballistic missiles, drones, rockets, Iran has declared war. Says it's mulling options, discussing with allies. G7 meets, restates commitments to security of Israel. U.S. distances serve from counter-attack. Russia warns against further escalation in Middle East. Nigeria calls for restraint. Yes, over the weekend, the much-awaited response of Iran to the Israeli attack on Iranian consulate in Syria, in Damascus, Syria, came. Of course, it was like something well choreographed. The missiles, the drones are heading for Israel, if you watch most stations, including Arise. But I don't agree when the diplomats say Iran seem to have overreached themselves. A nation has to stand up and be counted as a nation. And that's what Iran has done. Iran has been a rising power, and the West know that very well. Wherefore, Israel, I think Netanyahu, either he just wants to distract the attention of the world from the genocidal acts being carried out in Gaza by touching the tail of Iran in that bombing of Iranian consulate, killing 7 persons, including some Iranian generals. Or how else do you explain what Israel has done against all norms of international law, bombing the consulate of a country anywhere is against international law. Of course, the US, they had intelligence to confirm that Israel did it. We don't need to wait for Israel to confirm. Hence, all the preparations for the Iranian response. And of course, the West came to the aid of Israel, US, Royal Air Force of UK. Of course, the French were also there to help Israel stop a number of those drones, missiles, and rockets heading towards Israel. But I think one lesson Israel must also take, and I'm sure they have taken note, that those missiles were precisely targeted at specific military targets. But for the aid or the Iron Dome, the ironclad support of US and others, perhaps some of those missiles will have hit target. But for the Israeli people, I don't know the kind of life the Prime Minister wants people in Israel to live. As at last week, it was said that the Gaza war has turned Israel upside down. To embark on another warmongering effort to Iran, well, it has taken more than 6 months and Israel has not been able to vanquish the Hamas. Rather, they've started to killing innocent people who know nothing about the Hamas plot to attack Israel on October 7th. Now, if a full-blown war is to happen, and I think that's what the world, leaders in the world are cautioning against, that we don't want to see a full-blown war. Well, if Israel were to retaliate as they are promising, or counter-retaliate, as it were, in this case, of course, Iran will not stand idle by. I'm sure that in itself will lead to war in the Middle East. And the impact of global economy, of course, is a no-brainer. A lot of world trade, oil trade passed through that region, and the world economy will be in jeopardy as a result. So, world leaders have to do what they have to do. But again, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, listens to nobody. Now let's look at other newspapers. The Vanguard newspaper, tariff hike. TCN discos Bika over failing 20-hour supplies. Band A consumers protest under supply. Seek downgrade. Total supply remains insufficient. Consumers network. Government must sanitize consumers, others power up Nigeria. Discos to set up a response team. Reverse hike to avert further misery suffering. Electricity workers are saying vow to shut power supply nationwide if colleagues are attacked. Now, the Guardian newspaper, sticky prices, poor control upset consumers despite stronger Naira. And of course, another story, the front page of the Guardian newspaper, in line with the 10th anniversary of the kidnap of Chibok girls. The Guardian is reporting 21 Chibok girls returned with 34 kids. Reports find, well, those girls, their lives turned around forever. Those girls who have not come back with children, of course, fathered by terrorists who turned their lives around. Well, they need a lot of support and counseling to get back their lives on track. Now, the Punch newspaper, recapitalization rates. Top banks targets $3 billion fund in foreign capital markets. Access, GTCO, UBA, FBN, Zenith may issue Eurobonds. Lenders seek shareholders' approval for rights issue. Banking stocks sell off. Led 633 billion naira equity market loss. Tier 2 banks, merger and acquisition likely, Fitch analysts, while other newspapers are reporting. Now, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, invasion of Oyo secretariats, tight security in Osun, Ekiti, Kwara, Ondo, Ogun. Governors, police urge residents to remain calm, say no cause for alarm. Afenifere, CCII, others condemn attack. While the Daily Sun newspaper is reporting, PDP chair, Wike camp pushes for Damagun against Susan Agbo. Senators weighed in Reps caucus to pass confidence vote in acting chair. Now, another story below the Daily Sun, in the Daily Sun, below the photograph, FX, power crisis. 40% of manufacturing plants on verge of collapse. Man, Karsima, others raise alarm. Of course, the impact of Tinubunomics. Manufacturers are crying out that 40% of their plants are at the verge of winding up. Now, the New Telegraph newspaper, Humanitarian Ministry probe, we have not cleared anybody, EFCC, says 32.7 billion naira, $444,000 recovered so far. Celebrities being investigated over naira abuse. Discreet probe reveal fraudulent dealings in COVID-19 funds. World Bank loan recovered, Abacha loot. Now, the Nation newspaper is also reporting that story. EFCC will try bank CEOs over COVID funds, World Bank, while the Abuja Inquirer is reporting on ease as FCDA demolishes another estate in Abuja. Of course, Nyesom Wike, the minister there, having a back and forth with the promoter of that estate. The foreign newspapers quickly, if of course no price for guessing what the newspapers are reporting, the foreign newspapers now. Now, if we look at the Times of London, Israel vows revenge as the world calls for calm. Biden tells Netanyahu to take the win after almost all Iran's drones and missiles were shot down. While, of course, the Financial Times also has that story. Israel weighs options after Iran attack. Ruben Rufai Ayo.
Okay, very briefly. First, a point of self-correction. I was quoting Section 51 earlier. It's actually Section 55. Section 55 says that parliamentary business in Nigeria can only be conducted in English, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa. So that's what I was telling you when you came.
But you can take other languages to international TV. Constitution does not. Constitution does not ban that.
That was how I was telling you that.
You can speak Robo language anywhere.
Your Robo language is not recognized.
We are not going to
by the Constitution.
We are not going to Abuja Parliament, but we can speak it anywhere. Ruben, that's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
It's sonorous language.
The same Constitution says you have the freedom of choice. Then stay within the province of the law. Respect the Constitution until we change it. Don't come and speak Urobo here. It's not in the Constitution. Anyway, that's that about that. But, you know, the other issue is the attack in Ibadan. We have made the point that, look, that's either treason or treasonable felony. Section 2 of the Nigerian Constitution says this is an indissoluble, indivisible country. Now, that's a subject of argument by many people who are saying, look, Nigeria needs to be restructured. What is called the mistake of 1914 has to be revisited and all of that. But what is clear is a point made by Chief Olabode George, whom we interviewed earlier, about the failure of intelligence. These people, before they went and organized their kangaroo attempt to take over Oyo State government, they must have planned, they must have communicated. This state was not there. So what we're dealing with is the failure of the security agencies across board. And where does that leave us? If people can just organize an activity against the state, where does that leave individuals, ordinary people, who are, well, not surprisingly, kidnapped routinely? And so that's the major issue. And I hope that there will be an investigation in Oyo State of all the leaders, the heads of the various security agencies, whether it is DSS or it is the police or it is the military. Where were they? That a group of, what were they wearing even? They were wearing vests, whatever, camouflage,
of a different
who
color.
stormed the seat of government. And why is the place not even protected? So government cannot even protect itself. This is part of the problem we are dealing with.
Okay.
You know, so Emmanuel Ifeni, this I think is the big issue. Apart from you coming to speak Urobo. Don't do it again. You are not recognized by the Constitution.
Rufa, I encourage you to remember Ororo and Otu Jeremy.
So I quickly want to pay tribute to Rotimi Sankore, June 6, 1968 to April 12, 2024. I mean, I got a chance to meet him a couple of times because we had worked on the same platform together, but he was a stickler for what our democratic values should be. In the time of, the 1993 struggle, he served, in the civil society, and he did a lot for this country. He passed of cancer, and Chidi Ansler Modonkalu was given a tribute to him, and this was quite very dear to me. You don't know people are going through stuff, and you see that they've passed, and it really hurts you so bad. Continue to rest, Mr. Rotimi Sankore. Yeah.
He's so resting.